Hello folks, welcome. LXLE, as promised, the other day I did a tour and overview of LXLE and I was going to talk about remote sync today. And most of my major focus is actually going to be on Grsync, which is the graphical version of Rsync. It's a lot easier to use for new users, but I will show you a script file that will actually make multiple copies on multiple devices with multiple folders, just as a quick demo. Today I'm filming in 1920 by 1080, the entire video. LXDE is the desktop. And I'll also talk about installation of Grsync and also Kate the text editor if you'd like to have that one installed also. Alt F4 to close. So what you normally have installed under Control Menu Utilities is your gradmin Rsync. So Rsync is installed by default on your system. So all of the things that I'm going to be talking about here are going to be using Rsync. Okay, this one here is maybe some complexity with some folks. There is a help in here. So I'm going to explain Grsync, which is very simple to use, and then I'm going to also show you a script file. And so let me get going on some of that. So after you install Grsync, it will install in this menu. Actually very close to that. And this is what GR looks like. And normally these are not populated because I was redoing this video. So this is normally what it looks like. So I'm going to open up the file manager and I'm going to talk about Mark. Mark is just a made up name. Mark is our user. We'll just call him Mark the Magician. How's that? Anyways, I have files and folders in here, and that's irrelevant. But I have three different devices. I have an internal backup drive, an external USB backup drive, and a USB stick. That would be the slowest out of the three. So I'm going to be making backups. However, for me to let you see how a script file would work, I'm going to actually open up three windows, just so you can see this in action. Control N and another Control N. So I'll make this one the USB stick, this one the USB back 1, and this will be the backup. I'm going to leave the folder alone. And then this will be my source. So in my documents folder, or Mark's document folder, I have two scripts. I'm going to show you this in, instead of using mousepad, I'm going to use Kate. Why am I going to use that? So I can make the text larger for you on the fly. They're both text editors. So basically you can write yourself a script rather quickly with the bin bash statement. There are no spaces in here, by the way. And I'm using the rsync-a in here. That would be the archive. And instead of typing the whole path, I'm using a tilde. Okay, and then of course this would be the destination, or where it's going to be backing that document folder up to. So what this script looks like is a little bit more complex. I'll also make this larger for you. Still uses the same bin bash statement at the top, and then it uses nothing but rsync-a's. And these are all different folders going to three different devices. So I have three folders going to backup, I have three folders going to USB back 1, and I have four folders going to USB back 6. I'm just going to demo the versatility of a script, and then I'm going to talk about Grsync. So this is going to create three folders here, three folders here, four folders here while I'm talking. So if you are wanting to install Grsync and then also Kate from terminal, that's the quickest way you can do things. If you have never done this, let me pull up the history buffer. That script is still running in the background, by the way. You can probably see the folders being created. If you have never installed software from terminal, here's your typical installation command. Let me break it down for you. Sudo is super user do space apt space install. That's the general command for installing software. It gets its software the same place Synaptic Package Manager gets its software. So Grsync is the name of the package or software in this case, and this one is Kate. They both use the same commands. The other thing you will notice in here, it says man rsync and grsync. So let me type those in here. Man rsync. So rsync stands for remote sync. It's a very fast and versatile remote and local file copying tool. I use it quite heavily myself. It is very extraordinarily versatile, that I will admit to you. Usually you have an rsync with an option. Okay, this script files are using the -A option. When I show you grsync, you'll see different options. Okay, I'm going to hit Q. Then I'm going to type in that, and I'm going to change this to grsync. So grsync is the front end of rsync. That's all that means. It's the graphical version of it, is what I call it. Still uses options, the same as regular rsync. This time I'm going to use Alt F4. And I'm going to say yes. So it's finished. That script made 3 folders on that device, 3 folders on this device, and 4 folders on this device. What makes Rsync very fast is the second time you use it, not the first. Because you don't have to recreate these folders all over again. Once you have the initial backup, as soon as you make changes in your system and rerun the script and or grsync, I'll show that in a second, it will actually only copy the files that have changed or added. Alright, so far so good. Let me close these. We'll just leave the backup unit on. So let me open up GR. So graphical version, this is really for simplistic reasons, easy to use. Leave the basic options alone, you'll be good to go. If you want to alter your extras and advanced and basic options, may I recommend screenshots. Okay, you can always take a screenshot of something. Grab the current window is usually the easiest and the smallest file. You can also grab select area. But grabbing a window will just take a picture of this box. I can even put this directly on top of it and it won't take a picture of itself. Alright, just a suggestion. So we have help about. This is the what I call the graphical version of Rsync. Okay, you have the Rsync info, and you have contribute. Goes to a website. You have file. Browse the source. Well, let's make something a source. So one of these folders, right? That's source. And browse destination. Where are you going to send it to? And you can switch it to. Use this one carefully. Simulation is what it says. You can also click that blue thing. It's the same thing. The execute is another word for that is run, and it's also here. You will see on some systems when you install Grsync there will be an arrow, like a play button if you want to call it that. The typical Rsync command line. Let me show you what I'm using for script files. I'll just open up this one. That one's just easy enough. If I can grab a hold of that box. Let me blow this up, make it larger for you. I'm using an Rsync-A. They're using an Rsync-R-T-G-V-progress-Z-S. All that is going to give me the option of displaying stuff. I usually run this stuff in the background. All right, that's the only difference. Mine is the archive option, is what I'm using. And it does create folders and subfolders. You can actually see that in here. That was using this script right here. And you can actually see their subfolders and so forth and so on. Okay? Now, that was the Rsync line. So preferences, same deal. If you want to change on play, I would suggest a screenshot. Sessions are like shortcuts. Add, delete, import, and export. Same thing with these plus or minus thing, or plus and trash can. In other words, put a source and destination and give it a name. And it puts it in this little list here. I don't really use this. As a matter of fact, I use mostly scripts anyways. But this is a great little tool for copying one thing to one destination. Alright, with that said, let's go populate some files and folders. So a very popular one would be the documents folder. So we're going to do a source on the top line. Click documents, mark is just a made up name, and I'm going to hit that. And it's not going to do much because it's already here. So I am going to use the same device, backup. And I'm going to hit go. and it's completed that quickly. Do you know why? Because it was already here. My script already produced the same thing. Whether you use a script or GR, it doesn't matter. They're both going to use the same utility and the same speed. Now I'm going to give it something to do. I'm going to delete that folder. As a matter of fact, I'm going to delete all three. Throw them in the trash. Now I'll give it something to do. See, now it has to do work. But more importantly, once it completes and I rerun this thing, it won't have anything to do unless I altered things. What I mean by that is, let's take, let me add some lines to this cabbage text file. I'll just put in some numbers like that, and I'll hit save. The thing about files is everything has attributes and properties, and Rsync uses that information to determine if these files are the same. Since the one on this one, it doesn't contain those numbers, but this one does. When I rerun this script here, it's going to actually only replicate this file and leave all of these alone, but it will check them to see if they changed. So let me run that. It's finished. Let me let you see it. It's got the word, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in it. All right. So that's what makes GR or Rsync faster than just you dropping and dragging stuff. Because when you're working with large amount of folders and files, using Rsync is the way to go as far as simple copying process. There's a lot of tools, also backup tools, that use Rsync underneath as their main copying and process. Can I also do another device? Oh, sure. Let me click that and create another window, Control N, and we'll just use that one, and I'll delete those because they are the same. So I need, in other words, I'm giving the Grsync something to do. So this is going to be called USB back 1, so I'm going to click that, and as you noticed, I'm not typing anything. Versus in a script, once you create the script though, you're going to first type it out, but you can just execute it very simply like this one. And now that one's finished. And if I needed to change the folder to something different, then I can just do it that way. Now I got music, and it's still creating that thing. You can see it right here. It's in process. So while it's doing this work, I'm going to talk about the script file. The only thing that I'm going to make a suggestion to you if you create these yourself is just make sure that the execute. This will usually, when you write script files, it will be nobody. You just need to make it the owner, in this case Mark, to be able to run. Otherwise you can't make these scripts work. Otherwise they're treated like regular text files. You just make it executable, in other words, by execute. Another name for that is run. Owner. Okay, so far so good. All right, enough of that. So whether I use this one here and then I will create another window, and where to go? I thought I created another window. There we go. Okay. Throw that on the top there. We're going to make that 6, and I'm going to erase them. All that stuff. This is the slow one. So I'm not going to pick a large folder because it even takes longer to delete this stuff. So I'm going to pick the documents to this USB back 6. Okay, and then I'm going to run it. So you can see how versatile this is. All I'm doing is switching destinations rather quickly using this same tool. Okay, whether you use script files or just Grsync all by itself, it's pretty simple to use this tool. Thank you for watching.